Hello and welcome to another episode of Stream It or Leave It. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Netflix show, Get Even. I saw school uniform blazers and a Pretty Little Liars vibe, so obviously I was in, but sadly it didn't quite work out for me. At first I kind of thought that I was still in my romantic hangover from watching Young Royals, and that was why I couldn't really enjoy another show so soon. But by episode 4 of the show, I kind of realized it's more than that. I just don't like the show and I couldn't finish it. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the first 3 episodes so you can get a sense of what's happening. And if you have seen it, feel free to share your thoughts down below. So it's the start of the new school term and everybody's sitting in assembly when the rugby team captain calls their coach up to thank him for his service. And they have a presentation on an overhead projector ready with all of the good memories of him as a coach. Only it seems that someone has somehow hacked that recording because what we see instead are recordings of moments showing that the coach was actually quite verbally abusive and a bully. He's been exposed at the assembly and he runs out of the hall in disgrace. Then we see a group of girls who gather on the roof of the school congratulating each other for outing him and hope that it leads to his suspension. It seems they have a little operation going with burner phones and everything. They're not friends, they seem to make that clear, but they appear to have a common interest, which is revenge. Kitty seems to be the main character. She's doing well on the soccer team and in school, and a lot of the kids at the school look really wealthy, but Kitty seems like a possible scholarship student, something we will learn a little later, and quite the overachiever. Then we have Margot, who also seems to be very smart. She's a gamer, and she's kind of shy. Bree is the rebel, and she's very wealthy. Her father contributes a lot of money to the school, but she skips class a lot. Her father is also away on business a lot, so she seems to parent herself for the most part. Then there's Olivia, the pretty popular one. She has something going with Dante, but I don't know. It seems as though there's something budding between her and her best friend Amber. So there's a party happening, and there are already so many characters who have been introduced that it's hard to keep track here. Kitty has a friend, Mika, who has a crush on a guy named Ronny, and Kitty is also really good friends and has quite a lot of chemistry with Dante, Olivia's guy. We eventually do find out that Dante is actually Olivia's boyfriend, but we'll get to that. Anyway, Kitty and Dante eventually leave the party together, not for anything suspicious, they're just not in the mood to be there, so they just go off and get something to eat rather. I don't understand why they don't tell Olivia though, she just sees them leaving. By the way, there is quite a bit of speculation as to who this person is that revealed the coach's skeletons, some kind of entity called DGM. The next day, the whole school is talking and gossiping about Mika. Ronny, the guy who she had a crush on, stole a photo of her in her underwear from her phone and shared it on social media. She's understandably upset and she guilt trips Kitty, telling her that Kitty left the party when she needed her. Kitty calls a meeting saying that they have to take down Ronny, and Olivia points out that they have a 6-week rule in between jobs and this is breaking that rule. In the end, they all agree that Ronny deserves payback and they say their little pledge, and Kitty opens her book to reveal what her plan is. In episode 2, the next day, Olivia asks Dante if he likes Kitty. He says that he likes Kitty as a person, but that Olivia is his girlfriend, and because she's such a cool and nice person underneath her popular, pretty exterior, that's why he's attracted to her. They agree to go out for burgers. Now, I don't know if I trust Dante, or maybe it's more that I get a sense that he doesn't really know what he feels himself. Whatever the issue is, they have quite a strange vibe together, Olivia and Dante, and not very much chemistry. So right, the girls have decided that they're going to get Ronny back and they put their plan into action. Olivia goes out with Ronny for an ice cream after school in order to distract him while Bree breaks into his house. Ronny is extremely gross. He eventually pressures Olivia into sitting next to him and even tricks her into taking a selfie that looks like they might be making out, but they're not. He then tries to blackmail her in order not to share the photo on social media. I guess this is his MO. She walks out though. Meanwhile, over at the house, Bree hears somebody coming into the house while she's copying Ronny's hard drive, so she runs off. In another storyline that's not connected to the big drama, a possibly cute drama club guy encourages Margot to be the stage manager, and I really like this for Margot. So after this disastrous fake date, Olivia meets up with Dante, who has seen the photo of her and Ronny, and he breaks up with her, even though she's trying to explain the situation. Yeah, I didn't care about any of this. Neither of them seem that into each other. Still, Dante comes across as a little holier than thou. Anyway, he makes this stupid point about her being rich and popular on the inside as well, But we do see her home later. It's modest. Her mother works several jobs and it's her gran who pays for her fees. So she's not actually the rich girl that everybody thinks she is, and for some reason this endeared me to her. I can really enjoy pretty spoiled rich girl roles, but I'm glad that there's more here. And you can see in any case that she doesn't really play the mean girl role. At the end of the episode, Kitty sees a group of police cars and crime tape at Ronny's house. Ronny's on the ground and there's a card nearby saying compliments of DGM. In episode 3, the next morning, it's front page news that Ronny, the rugby star, was found dead. We also see Bree looking through some video memory of happier times, singing happy birthday to her mother. Her father asks if she's thinking about contacting her, so we know that Bree's mother is still alive. Amber, meanwhile, is mad at Olivia for reasons, I guess. Something to do with the Ronny thing. She reminds me of a little less intense version of Mallory from Cruel Summer. A bit intimidating and bossy, kind of rude. Not a fan. So the principal talks to the students a bit about Ronny, telling them not to gossip about him, and then he calls Olivia to the office. She has a talk with the detectives and they show her photos of Ronny and her, and they question her about her whereabouts and such that evening. The group of girls meets up and they panic a bit about the situation. Kitty wants to somehow fix things, but the rest of the girls are like, we don't want to be involved anymore. By the way, at Ronny's memorial, Olivia apologizes to Amber, which fine, but I don't know why. Kitty and Dante also spend time together. They go fencing. I know they're meant to be friends and it would be great if they were because they seem to really get each other, but I don't know. The way that he looks at her, the music that plays in the background of their interactions makes me think that there's something there. I don't know what the show is really going for here. Then on the news, the girls all find out that they're officially ruling Ronny's death suspicious, and the media or law enforcement believe that the individual DGM has something to do with it. So the girls all meet up at an old cinema to try and discuss what to do next and figure out who must be framing them. Bree gives Margot the hard drive to see if Ronny upset anyone else, and eventually Margot finds out that Coach Creed, the one who was suspended, was sending Ronny £500 every month on the same day, and they just stopped recently, as in the payments stopped recently, just before Ronny's death. And yeah, that's the first 3 episodes of Get Even. So I know I compared this to Pretty Little Liars. Even when that show got really bad, I still carried on watching. But with this show, I can't even really hate watch it even. And there are just so many shows, good shows out this summer, that if you do need to prioritize, I wouldn't put this one anywhere high on the list. Definitely going to get a leave it from me. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.